Hi, and welcome back to the Book Talk. So my name is January Hannah Aranyas, and I will be your host for today. And for this session, we will talk about one of my most favorite books of all time, Little Women. Okay, so this book is written by Louisa May Alcott during the 1800s, as it talks about, of course, her personal life in Concord, brought about by the four major characters of this novel: Meg March, Jo March, Beth, and of course, Amy. So what is very interesting about this book is the four sisters would try to tell with their daily problems, of course, with being young women or being little women, of course, given by its title, as how they would try to grow more mature, be more mature, and of course, be more respectable members of our society. So of course, each of the girls have their own personal problems, such as Meg with vanity, and of course Jo with her temper, and of course Beth with her being bashful, and Amy with her being spoiled. So of course, since it was written in the 18th century, it talks more about women empowerment in essence, in which how women would actually function in society. It's given, of course, with how the four sisters were able to triumph that, as they call their dreams, as castles in the air. So what are castles in the air based on this novel? So it talks about their dreams and aspirations, such as Meg, with trying to be rich and of course trying to be famous and trying to be pretty, since that's her first and major aspiration in this novel. And of course Jo with trying to travel, and Amy trying to be the greatest artist of all time. And of course Beth, she has a very humble dream in which she would just stay home and take care of her family. So at the end of, as the book progressed, we would see on how the four sisters were able to achieve all of those dreams. So let's start first with, of course, Meg March. So at the course of the novel, what is fascinating about this book is that it talks about how their dreams change over the course of the year. For example, Meg has a bit of a struggle with her trying to be spoiled and trying to be vain. And one major factor that contributed to her growth would be Marnie. As she found love in the persona of Jhann, she discovered that there is more to life than just being beautiful. But you have to be beautiful with a heart in that essence, in which she was able to fulfill as she became a loving wife and, of course, a loving mother to her twins, Demi and Lacey. Now, let's start again with Jo March. How did she become a full-blown woman in essence? Well, Jo March, in respect, she's the most honest of all characters. Why? Because it reflects Louisa May Alcott in essence. It's like a full-blown persona of Louisa May Alcott. Since she is an aspiring writer, and of course, since she is, of course, very much a woman beyond her era, as she is fond of traveling, she is fond of working on her own, as she decided to step beyond her barriers of being just a common woman in a house when she actually tried to travel on her own in New York. And of course, one interesting fact about this is with her relationship with Laurie, as of course, many readers would expect that she would end up with Laurie, but no. At the end of the day, she was able to resurface. She was able to find herself. When she traveled to the city, she decided to write, but she, instead of counting for the stars, she started counting for dollars. But in essence, there is more to life than being rich, in which she actually discovered. Because the most important thing that Jo discovered is the value of honesty, the value of self-worth in essence, because as long as she's writing the true factor of being a woman, then she was able to actually get it. And then of course, with Beth, so Beth is like the soul of the family. As described here in this novel, she is like the angel of the family, in which she uttermostly tried to care for her family, for her parents, for the welfare of her sisters. And little is known about Beth, because she's very shy and she's very humble with her respect. And it's a bit sad that at the end of the novel that she actually ended up dying. But it gave strength to her sisters as they were able to strive up and work on their problems and be more of themselves. And finally, of course, with Amy, she was able to surface from being spoiled up to being a fine young woman as herself, as she didn't find the problem of being poor or the problems of poverty in her respect when she went on her own to travel and she found love in Lori's place. So if you ask me what this book is all about, it talks about humility. It talks about being strong, independent women in essence. Not only girls would be able to relate to this, but most importantly, young men or even teenagers would able to get a lot of lessons from this book. So therefore, if I would recommend reading this book, of course I would definitely recommend it. So that's all for the book talk. Again, thank you for watching.